came to terms with everything that is.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Meet the Leaders podcast. Today we have an amazing crew here. We are surrounded with whole leaders from the crypto space. So you'll get to know more about the space, you'll get to know more about what leadership means in the crypto world and how it develops, what's the future from the source. So welcome everyone and thank you for coming. And I hope that you can just go around and every one of you can tell shortly his story, how he got into the crypto space. And let's start with Jedidiah.
Sure. So Jedidiah Taylor, founder and CEO of Decent.Bet. I got into the space in 2016 just through seeing the adoption of Bitcoin start to take place. As I started to investigate, understand Bitcoin more and more, I discovered this thing called an altcoin and learned that there was many different coins outside of Bitcoin that had various functionalities, use cases, utilities, et cetera, and I identified a gap in the marketplace at that point for online casinos. My background, I grew up in Las Vegas. I've played online for over a decade, and there's a lot of challenges with online casinos, such as like guaranteed payment, things of this nature. So a smart contracts acting as escrow, incorporating gaming into the blockchain, having a level of transparency into the odds of the likelihood of somebody winning, this made a lot of sense to us. So that was my start. Thank you for having me on, George.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Niko. I was an early adopter of Bitcoin. I got interested in Bitcoin in 2013, 2014. At that time, I had an own IT company, and we were, a little bit like with friends, as a hobby, we were mining crypto. It started in my garage, but then in 2017, just before the hype, a lot of friends start to get involved. I think it had to do with webinars that I was doing because I wanted the word out to friends that there is really something amazing going to happen. Because let's be honest, banks and governments, they keep on printing money, so our money that we work for, it basically decrease in price. So through webinars, I was educating friends and friends of friends how Bitcoin works, how Bitcoin mining works. And like that, my garage was very fast, too small, also too hot because you could take a sauna in my garage. And we started to make our own Bitcoin farm that is something very big now. In totally, we have something like 6,000 square meters. And then in 2018, when the Bitcoin price stayed very stable at a low course, we start to diversify. We also start to do masternodes, trading, hodling, and so on. So we start to focusing on diversity, and we keep on growing as a company, and we will see where the future brings us.
Great stuff.
Thank you for the invitation, Joro. My name is Stoyan Angelov, and I'm founder and CEO of Evedo. We decentralize the event and entertainment industry, and I'm proud to be your partner also. And how I get into crypto, unfortunately, it was 2017, not in 2011, let's say. A good friend of mine actually explains me more about the real usage of the cryptocurrencies and of the decentralization at all. And I really fell in love with the technology, and now we are starting to use this as a solving real industry problems. And my background with crypto is that I'm also part of the team of Locktrip, Booking.com, and Airbnb on a blockchain. And now I'm really happy that all the big hype of the cryptos is a little down because it clears most of the projects that were there only because of the hype. And what I see every day is real adoption of the Bitcoin, some other currencies, of course, but but I'm strongly believer that this is the new big thing with mass adoption and will reach every single person like the money do now. And
if they
but
know it or not.
on very smart and like internet and this technology is the future of the relations between the people, like can transfer value, and I'm happy that we are here together and actually start discussing this.
Yeah,
Near future and present.
We're going to discuss in a lot of details today. So the legend Tom Vays.
Hey everyone, my name is Stoyan Vays. I've been a podcaster and public speaker in this space for probably going on 4 years now. Got involved in 2013, spoke at my first conference in 2014, was a regular on YouTube by 2015, quit my Wall Street job, have experience in trading, and had my own YouTube channel since 2016. And right now, traveling the world, currently in Bulgaria. Spoke at the Digital conference. Off to Amsterdam next, speak at more events, and we'll continue to bring you all kinds of podcasts in the space, from trading to interviews to scam busting.
Yeah.
Yes, MSD is cool.
He didn't mention shitcoins, so that's the first time I did it.
Shitcoins.
His introduction.
First for everything.
Yeah. So my name is Didi Taihuttu. I came into crypto in 2013, started mining because I thought it was a revolution that would make me a millionaire as well. During the time, I met more and more people that wanted to be a millionaire, and at the end, I needed to change life because of some personal events, and that made me choose to sell my house and all other belongings and just go all in Bitcoin and see what happened. We did it to educate the kids, to make them realize that living life is more than accumulating wealth, which brought us to the next project in life. And it's not, we find that people too much are in the space to for the speculation part, sorry, Tone. So we want to make sure that the real fundamentals of blockchain and Bitcoin will be valued as they should be. And so we want to include people in the monetary system because we really think this is a revolution. And the unbanked need to be banked by a telephone or Bitcoin or whatever. And that's what we are going to do the next couple of years. And all the revenues we will make with this, we will share with the charity or donate or do impact investments to include those people in the world. And I'm just very happy and very lucky and thankful that I'm living this beautiful crypto life and meeting all those beautiful people like Stoyan. If you ever need a host in this this town here in Sofia, please use Stoyan. He really is events done better. So that was my introduction. Let's go to
the prettiest
the prettiest
part of the
The only lady
table.
in the crowd. Hello, my name is Elena. Kalpa. Thank you for the invitation. So I'm very happy to be one of your partners in this bloody good project, Evedo. We are changing the event industry, as you know. I'm one of the founders and as well as Chief Marketing Officer, part of the business development team. I got introduced to Bitcoin 2012 when I was a journalist in a local media called Investor.BG, and I was writing for international economic ecosystem and as well as international relations. And at that point, there was nobody in the team who was ready to talk about anything else besides gold. You know, Investor.BG, well, we spoke about gold, NASDAQ, that kind of stuff. So me and my colleague Dimitar, at that time, we started writing about Bitcoin. And then 2016, one of my best friends at the time, the co-founder of ADEX, introduced me to ICOs, initial coin offerings, what crypto means, smart contracts. And later on, me and Stoyan, 2018, decided to start this beautiful project called Evedo. That's my story so far.
That's great, guys. So you can see the crowd here is amazing. So what I want to ask everyone, I'm George Cisse, you probably know, but I'm a lawyer. I work with blockchain projects. I'm a co-founder at Evedo, and I love gathering such amazing people for the Meet the Leaders podcast so that we can talk, educate everyone, and can show the real leaders in this world. So I want to ask you something. What is blockchain about for you? How is the industry changing the world? because we need to, at the beginning of everything new, there is fear. And fear comes from people not knowing what is it actually about. So I want to ask you, as experts in different fields, but still in the blockchain space, what is it all about? How is it changing the world for you?
For me, if I could just break it down from a real high level perspective, it's freedom and honesty. It allows the freedom to be your own bank and do what you want to do with your funds without any oversight from financial institutions or self-interested third parties. So that allows for freedom, and the transparency on the blockchain allows and holds people accountable for what they do. The combination of those two things, I feel the world critically needs.
Great.
Yeah, for me, it's the same. I think the only one that are fearing the blockchain is banks and government, because it allows people to be in charge about their own belongings, about their own money. Without somebody can stop them or block their accounts, or you're in charge of it. Yeah.
Can you say something practical about it? Because I know you have experience with it.
Well, for example, we buy a lot of miners in China. You should try to make a bank transfer to China with your bank account. Then you will see why you should use blockchain. Because if I send Bitcoins, it's there in seconds. If I send it with a wire transfer, it will take maybe a week to China. So
it will cost a lot.
Sure. A lot of money and
paperwork.
Yeah, and for the amounts we buy hardware, it are big amounts. You even have the risk that they block your money for
IML.
That they want to check where is this money coming from and so on. So we skip all this. We can just, the money of the client comes in, we can straight away order the hardware.
Yeah, I'm completely agree with this and this. What also I think that the blockchain really helps is the smart contract functionalities of the cryptos. You can really dealing with people, dealing with business to business, and also I think that the smart contracts is one of the most beautiful thing in the crypto. That's my personal opinion. And if you use these smart contracts on a way that you can program it to solve real problems and regulate relations between businesses, that's really one of the most useful things. And also, of course, the escrow functionality of the tokens and all this really great technology functionalities that usually costs a lot if you do it without blockchain. Right. But also, I'm on the first level, I'm putting the transparency and the freedom, and of course, you're out of banks that are they can in any moment block your accounts, and you're going to fail and lose your business, and all the things that you're fighting, let's say a couple of years, you can just lose everything because of we think that you're laundering money, will block your account for 2 months. And what are you doing? You're doing business, you're paying salaries, you have facilities, you have everything to pay, and what you do, you're done. And the future of the blockchain is really, I think that when more and more people adopt payments with Bitcoin and everything, that will give us more and more security to doing business also.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting because I recently heard of a case from a friend of mine that they actually blocked his salary because they say no longer salary comes to your bank account, and it's not fair. The interference is not fair in this case, and you can see it. And why do we need this interference? Because it's not just lawful conduct on behalf of the banks, but it's just a random judgment of theirs, which is very bad for business, for people in general.
Yeah, well, I heard about Bitcoin back in 2011 with the WikiLeaks use case of people being able to fund WikiLeaks when Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal cut them off. I was never really a substance user, so the Silk Road case that came about later in 2011 and all throughout 2012 wasn't really of interest to me, so it never ran across my radar. But what got me off the couch and buy my first Bitcoin was the money confiscated out of the Cyprus banks, which took place in March, April of 2013. And that's when I realized Bitcoin's most important property is the ability to be unconfiscatable if you're properly protecting and securing your Bitcoins. So to me, these two properties of being unconfiscatable and censorship-resistant value transfer is what's absolutely critical and what allows Bitcoin to compete today with the financial system. And because of those two things, it is way faster than the traditional financial system unless they have fully KYC'd you and the person on the other end. The fact that Bitcoin has this monetary policy or lack thereof with a mathematical formula of being more like gold and its deflationary nature should allow Bitcoin to significantly rise in price as the other two properties are becoming more and more critical to the people around the world. So it's great. Bitcoin's still not incredibly fast. It has not yet fully scaled. It is not yet fully private. I expect all of those things to come to fruition over the next decade.
Okay, so what can I say? Beautiful words of all of them. So there's nothing much to add, but for me, it's very obvious, of course. You know, I went all in. So I sold my house, sold my company, sold my cars. So you have a shitload of money there, and then you can put it on the bank. But I quickly started Googling, of course, and I knew from the history that there was a bank that went bankrupt in the Netherlands, and then you're insured for 100K. So I wouldn't want to take that risk, you know. I had more than 100K, so that I wasn't going to put it on the bank. What if they would go bankrupt? I saw, of course, Cyprus. I saw Greece. People were capped till 60 years. I envisioned this guy fishing his whole life, saving everything on his bank account, and I wanted to spend or cash money from the ATM. He can only get 60 euro a day. So that made me make up my mind that it needs to be something else. Of course, that for me was Bitcoin. And the other thing I think why Bitcoin and blockchain is very important is I come from the Moluccan Islands. My great-grandfather came from there. You know, he was chased away from that country because of a war, then the Japanese war with the Indonesian people. He needed to leave that country. When he came back 15 years later, every archive was burned down. He couldn't prove anymore that the ground he was living was his. He couldn't prove anymore that the house the Japanese guys was living in now was his. That quickly made me realize that the blockchain could provide a very beautiful solution. For example, such a thing in life. So you can name like millions, I think, of possibilities. But again, the beautiful words were already said by Tone and Jedidiah and the rest of the group. So Elena, now it's up to you. All the pressure.
All the bloody pressure.
Well, you gotta go in the opposite direction on the next question.
Obviously, everything which has been said so far has a huge value to me as well. But I would like to see more the usage of blockchain in the supply chain, because I would love to see how goods have been transferred and transported, and how we can keep the value of the products and see how they originate, how they have been transferred, and how we can use them and keep their value from the very beginning to the very end. So supply chain and blockchain they both have amazing future for me, and we can see a lot of value not only in the transparency, but the way that process can be optimized in the future.